Hey everybody, it's Blake,
And this is Drew.
and you're listening to Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Controllers.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 51 of the podcast. We got two games and a movie for you this episode. But before we get to all that good stuff, I'm going to bang through our little corner of the internet. We have a bunch of the normal stuff. We have Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We use for the normal social media things. It's how you can keep up what's going on the podcast. I guess not the Instagram so much. It's more for pictures and other cool things that Blake finds. But the Twitter and Facebook are where I post the goings on the podcast of when we record, when we're going to post. If we do something cool in a video game, we sometimes post it to Facebook when we remember. We've done that a couple of times. Often we forget. Also, we have the Reddit. I mentioned it. We never use it, but it's there. And we have Discord, which is another way. I mean, you're on the internet, you know what Discord's for. We have a Discord page, or server, I guess they call them. Sure. Yeah, you can get on there and chat with us or other people who are listening to the podcast about. I have different channels set up to do different things on there. Then we have, of course, the Patreon, which I'm still figuring out and learning how to do things properly on there. But we do have, our two Patreons right now. I want to still thank both Brian and Garrett for continuing to support the podcast with money from your pockets. That's much appreciated.
Much appreciated.
For sure. Yes. And then, of course, we keep promoting Blake's story. You could find it on Amazon simply by searching They Come This Night. It's the first thing that pops up when you search it. If you're a Kindle Unlimited member, I guess it is, it's free. But if you want to support Blake, it's a purchase of 99 cents. Like anything on the internet, reviews do help. And I always tell people that if you listen to this podcast, or as I mentioned in a second, Blake's second podcast, don't just go to that Amazon page and just give a good review because you like Blake and other stuff he does. He does prefer that you actually read the story and give an honest opinion. He reads the reviews when there's new ones up there, or I read them to him, or I tell him they're up there and he goes and reads them after I see they're up there. As mentioned a second ago, Blake does have a second podcast started recently. It's Action, the Movie Podcast. A podcast basically started for what you'll experience at the end of this episode, which is Blake wanting to talk a lot about a movie, but trying really hard not to spoil a movie and sell you on a movie. So I thought we'd get another friend of ours to jump in with Blake and make a whole other podcast, a full spoiler podcast where they talk about. They go back and forth with each other. They take turns each episode picking a movie, and the other person, they both watch the movie and then they discuss it for the first time. On that podcast, everything's real fresh, and whatever thoughts are on their heads are popping out right then. I'm in the background of that podcast. I mostly just produce and edit that one, but I do give my 2 cents here and there. But it is mostly podcast for Blake and our friend Steve, of course. And I should have mentioned earlier, I do have the Spotify playlist, which is I won't add to this week. That is all this music I've played on the podcast all in one place. You can find that. You actually find links to all of this stuff at the bottom of the show notes. I do link it after the internet. If you look at the show notes at all, you will find all of that there. You should be hearing there's some music playing in the background now. I don't know whose music I chose to play for this particular episode. I like to rotate them out. So whoever I'm playing will be in the show notes. You can always find the links to their pages if you like their music in the show notes. I do want to offer out there if there's any musicians that listen to the podcast and would like to make a music bed of the sorts you kind of hear on here. We prefer rock or something like that. It's something that we can play kind of under this particular part. Or if you even want me to play a song just in general, I might, if you send it to me and I like it, I could play the song at the end of a maybe end of a podcast, maybe a movie, the ends in a movie. Because I'll end the band podcast with bands. We'll see. I don't know how to do that yet. It's the first time I'm offering this, so I'll see if anybody writes in and has any music they like. But if anybody has a music bed, or even right now wants to, or will write a new music bed for us to use, I'll put it in rotation and give you credit for it and stuff like that. It'd be kind of cool. I don't know if we have any musicians out there. I'll be glad to have that. And I think with that, that's all of the internet stuff. It's long-winded that time, but if it's long-winded, then the music bed plays longer. So
you get to listen, hear what you enjoy.
Yeah, because like I said before, one of Jessica's coworkers sent me some music, and we've had a couple of music beds where a couple of intros that were a minute and a half or 2 minutes. Usually yours, because you barrel through it faster than I do. Yeah. And he had like a 6-minute song he sent me, and I play a minute and a half of his 6-minute song. So now I'm rambling on a intro where I might not even use his music. But anyway, that's all the internet stuff. All the links to that are always in the show notes. Please go there and follow us on all those things. And as I'm wrapping this up, I forgot to mention our Twitch channel. So obviously, you know what Twitch is. Twitch is where me and Blake go, and we stream video games, and y'all can come hang out. And it's usually it's an easy preview for something we may or may not do on the podcast. We've done some things on there that we probably won't do on the podcast. We may do an episode. It might not be a bad idea to do an episode on like a bunch of co-op things that we don't really particularly want to talk about, but maybe share a couple of experiences.
Yeah, we got a few of them.
So maybe something like that. But anyway, if you want to hang out with us on those, I always post again on the Facebooks and Twitter that we are going to stream. If you just follow us on Patreon, on Twitch, you will get notified when we go live, like you do with any other Twitch people you follow. And now, I think that's it, and I will let Blake take over with our first game of the evening.
Hey everybody, as Drew said earlier, welcome to episode 51. Our first game we're going to be talking about is, it's actually fairly new, and I think did it launch on Game Pass?
Was it on PC first, probably?
I think it was on, I bet it was on PC first, then came to Game Pass. But the game we'll be talking about today is called Bug Fables. It originally came out on Windows in November 21st, 2019, and then it hit everywhere else May 28th, 2020. So it's fairly new. Mm-hmm. And we got to play it on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So I think it's still on Game Pass as of this recording.
But it launched on, I think it launched, it said it came out in May 2020, but didn't it, like it launched on Xbox on Game Pass. It hit other consoles first.
Windows first, but then I think it launched everywhere on the same time. But they just happened to put it on.
You mean May 2021?
No, May 28th, 2020.
It just hit Game Pass.
Oh, so maybe it didn't launch on Game Pass. Then maybe it's been out for some time.
Oh, everybody was super excited when it hit Game Pass. Man, what do I know?
Maybe
we played it on Game Pass.
Maybe I read it wrong. So the developers of this game are called Moonsprout Games, and they're a Panamanian. I think I said that right. They're from Panama, and it seems, as far as I could tell, it's hard for these smaller studios. it's just 2 people, as far as I could tell, that did everything.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And this is the first game that they've put out thus far. And unfortunately, that's really all I have to talk about, because they were just so small, I couldn't find any.
Basically, it's the first game. It's really all they've done. There's no history on the 2.
I couldn't find anything.
Way too small.
Just that, they got their start, working on the school website and this, that, and the other, but it wasn't anything. It was just experience. There wasn't anything worth talking about. No offense to their achievements, to whatever they did, but it was just experience, and it didn't have anything to do towards gaming, as far as I could tell.
Okay.
Now, this game was not kickstarted. It was crowdfunded, yeah, with Indiegogo.
Okay.
Their original goal was $20,000. They got 627 backers, and managed to break to 25,000. So they made their goal and then a little extra. And so this is a what do you call it? It's a turn-based RPG, right?
Yeah. The easiest way to describe it, and it's how everybody describes it, and it's clearly what it was going after. It's a Paper Mario-esque RPG. It wears its influence on its shoulder, on its sleeve.
On its face. What are you talking about? It's very...
Everybody's been calling this the Paper Mario sequel that everybody's been asking for a lot since GameCube, since the 1,000-Year Door on GameCube. Because Paper Mario, after 1,000-Year Door, it went on this weird. It's been all kind. They've been doing everything they can do but RPGs.
It seems weird, because that's where it got its start, and that's where it's got
Yeah, it's in everything. Even the new Origami King is people barely even, you can't even probably call it an RPG.
I just don't understand why people have such a... I get they try to want to make it more widespread, but if you're making a game for the people who love the game, why would you change the core game mechanic?
I have no idea.
That's like going...
We knew that was all wrong. We played the one on the Wii, Super Paper Mario, and just turned it into a 2D platformer.
Yeah, it's just like, what is this?
That was the weirdest turn it took, and then I think there might have been one other Paper Mario thing, and then eventually Origami King, which everybody was excited for, which I think it's kind of hit or miss, whether people like it or not. We haven't played it yet, but it's buried in our GameFly somewhere. But it was people. It kind of looked like an RPG at first, and people started playing it, and they're like, it's really not an RPG at all.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So if you don't know anything about Paper Mario, it's a what do you call them? It's, how would you describe that? It's just cutouts that flip flop, right?
Yeah, just paper. Yeah, that's the graphic style. It looks like it's made of paper. Yeah, it's cute, I guess.
And so in Bug Fables, instead of playing as Mario, however you want to pronounce his name, you play as a series of bugs. You play as a series of bugs. You play as 3 bugs in particular, rather, in an ever-expanding ant kingdom, and its surrounding area, country. Well, I say country. It's an ant hill, so the countryside's like.
Yeah, it's the only ever the 3 characters you play as. We should lead this by saying we both. We'll get into the why. We both did stop playing this game.
I did.
We ain't gonna get into why now, but we'll get on over to it.
Because the game starts, and you're fairly quickly introduced to your 3 main characters, which are Kabu. I think he's a horned beetle. Then you have Vi, who's a little bumblebee, and then you get Leaf, who's a moth. I think he's a particular type of moth, but I don't know that in particular. He's just a moth. And that each of them has a exploratory ability as well as combat abilities, so they can use different things, either or. Kabu seems to be your main character. He's the green horn beetle, and he kind of starts the game off trying to join the the exploration guild, the adventurers guild of the Ant Kingdom.
I mean, the game just starts right there without any kind of preamble. It just starts with the 2 characters arguing. Which the game, I know the 2 developers, but the game desperately needs voice acting and doesn't have it.
Yeah. I would have enjoyed it more, but then I'm pretty sure I probably still would have quit it.
There's reasons why we quit. So I keep saying it. We'll get to it in a minute. But those reasons would have still been there with or without voice acting.
Like I said, basically the main character you have is Kabu, the greenhorn beetle, and he has a like a headbutting horn slash, and he'll cut grass, and I think he'll cut vines or something else, and it reveals secrets and items behind everything.
Yeah.
And then your second character, Vi, who is the little bumblebee, she has a boomerang.
Yeah. It's funny you say she, because I did not find out it was a girl for a long time. Somebody finally said she in some dialogue, and I was like, whoa, okay.
I'm pretty sure you find out early on that it's a girl.
There was no whatever he, she, or whatever stuff in the beginning, so I had no idea. I remember being like at a certain point when they're talking, or somebody was talking about her, they said she or her, and I was like, okay, because there's no voice acting, and there's no, like, the bee doesn't look feminine.
No, yeah, they some of them do. Some of the praying mantis and stuff like that do look very feminine, but it is kind of strange. Like, what do you call it? Not economically, ecologically, or animalistically, that for her to be a girl, because the only female bees, my understanding, are queens. So it was
strange. It was strange. Now also about I wasn't even thinking about that, honestly, but it just was strange that I just had no clue at all.
And she, her exploratory ability, which can also be both of them, as well as Leaf's, they can be used outside of combat to like hit an enemy and stun them, and you can get like advantageous. Like you get to hit twice in a row or something when you attack them.
It's hard, so hard.
The only person I could do it with was with Vi.
Stun the boomerang.
It's the only way I could do it, because I would hit him, going at it, and then coming back, and then as it came back, I'd be running towards him and I would get him.
Yeah, the reaction time on the other guy. What's his name?
Kabu.
The little horn, because the same thing used to cut grass. His little headbutt thing could hit enemies. I maybe pulled it off 3 times.
I ran around mostly with, I would do the switching. I would use Vi and hit him and start running towards him and switch before I got to him. And hopefully have Kabu going first.
So complicated. Yeah.
And then Leaf's big final exploratory thing is he slings ice. And he
freezes water.
Freezes water, which you use a lot in the opening dungeon. There's like dripping water from
that's where you get him. So that's the whole point of you get him and you freeze a bunch of stuff.
And you're kind of given a lot. It wasn't even hand-holding. It was just like, hey, now you do this. Now you do this. Now you do... It was shoving a lot on you at once, especially for an opening dungeon.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So as I said earlier, we didn't play the entire game.
I played through... I think I beat...
Well, I'm saying, is that all the only 3 characters in the game? There's not a rotating cast or anything?
As far as I can tell, no. And for my other...
So we got all the characters, at least. I played enough to see all the characters. Which the third character, he's all... Is he has amnesia, or he's
like amnesia / being groggy because he was like stuck or frozen.
Yeah, we probably figure out what happened to him. He seems like he's out of time somewhere. He's like because he recognizes the area, but everything's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the mystery would start unveiling itself the further you got into it. Mm-hmm. But again, these guys' first game, and I don't want to poo on them too much, but I don't think it's their fault that I didn't like the game. I think it's
we can get into it now. The combat system is the main reason we didn't like this game. It's caused me to quit other games. Another game coming up on the podcast we will mention later, not in this episode. It shares a battle system. Well, mainly it's the Paper Mario battle system.
Yeah. Which
we don't, I don't particularly like. Some people love it. I think, like you saw some Reddit threads where people were kind of like not enjoying it. But I think that was that the Bug Fables threads? Was that the other game that I don't want to mention?
I think it was Bug Fable. Well, it was a mix. People were like praising it as one of the next great things, and other people were like, this is horrible. The timing is difficult.
So what do you normally do? Like I said, it's taken directly from Paper Mario. Is that every single character, when you attack, there's some sort of timing or some sort of annoying gimmick you have to do to get the most out of your attack.
And it is different for each character.
Every character is different. All the timings are different, and And then there's a flip side to it too. But you have to be constantly hitting the right button all the right time for all the right characters and stuff. And I didn't like that part at all. And the flip side of that, I feel like is even worse. Is that when enemies attack you, you have to hit a button to defend yourself, and if you're not constantly defending every attack, you get absolutely slaughtered.
Not only that, is getting a perfect.
Yeah.
Because you can mess up and guard too soon, and then it's like you didn't even guard. And if you mess up the guard, it's not like you can let go of the button and try again. It's one shot and done. Chance.
Yeah. And some people will absolutely swear by this combat system. It's folks I don't know that just can't cope with a regular turn-based game where you just pick your attacks. I love turn-based combat more than any other kind of RPG combat. All RPGs get way too freaking busy. I think we have a Gamefly episode coming up where Blake's going to talk about a turn-based. If it's high enough on the list, Blake might be talking about an RPG where the combat was way too freaking busy.
Yeah, my HUD was way too busy.
It gave me a headache just looking at it. But this is just, you can't, it's not a sit back and enjoy kind of thing. You're going to constantly be attentive. Some people love that, like, oh, it's challenging. Like, oh, you got to stay on your toes. And it's just like, I just think, like Blake said, it's not the developer's fault. There's a 100% this game type, this RPG type, and this combat type.
People love
it. It's just not for us. And we'll say we won't do it next episode, but maybe episode after. There's another RPG recently that we quit that has the exact same battle system.
And what are some more recent ones that people might be able to associate with besides Paper Mario that has like a...
that I know of. I don't know if the second game did it because I haven't played it yet, but the South Park Stick of Truth.
Yeah.
Which I actually beat that game because it actually wasn't as difficult, but the South Park Stick of Truth, because it was a little more lenient.
Yeah.
South Park Stick of Truth has the exact same combat system. Every attack you do, every button you do, you got to rotate a stick or press a button and block and everything. It's just so involved all the time. Sometimes I just want to I want to play an RPG, certain RPGs, I just want to hit a button and watch cool stuff happen. I don't want to have to be trying to guess the timing of, and not even really before I'll get people get crazy if I don't mention it. Probably true, like real gamers, I guess. But even maybe a year ago when it launched on the Nintendo Switch Online, when they put the Super Nintendo on there, they put Super Mario and the Legend of the Seven Stars, the Super Mario RPG.
Yeah,
and it pretty much is what it kind of invented that combat system. And I quit that game. I thought now as an adult, like, ooh, I'm gonna play Mario RPG, and like it's legendary. Everybody loves it. It's developed by Square, and everybody loves Mario RPG. It's the gold standard of whatever RPGs, whatever. And I could not stand it. Yeah. And the timing on that was worse on a Super Nintendo. I would probably be like, oh, you just ain't trying hard enough. And no, it wasn't fun. And I got sick of doing it, and I just couldn't handle it no more. And same way where I don't know how I got all the way through South Park. Maybe because South Park was actually just easier, or had difficulty settings. Mario games you just play, and Bug Fables Bug Fables had a hard mode.
Yeah, which I tried
for some reason because you're a maniac, I guess. But it's just not fun. And there's other things too. But I think the main thing was just like there was no wiggle room. Like if you were not defending yourself, like I tell you, I was 2 or 3 fights in where I was like, oh, I'm granted almost from the get-go when I figured out what the battle system was. Now I kind of knew I was trying to give the game a fair chance. And when people say Paper Mario, I was like, okay, I know what the battle system is. Maybe the game's cool enough. I can deal with it this time. Like walking through the first area, and I missed a few defends, and both of my characters are nearly dead. I'm like, yeah, there's no chance in hell I play this game all the way through. Not when I'm walking through the first area. People can say I suck and whatever. I don't care at all. If I'm struggling, especially in a game that's like cute and kiddie and whimsical like Bug Fables, if I'm like, and I have to like have perfect defense to survive the first fights.
Yeah.
It's just like you're at, and then "Oh, just heal yourself. You have healing items." It's like, yeah, but item inventory is insanely limited.
Insanely limited, and they're expensive to buy. In the first dungeon, you don't have access to buy items in the first dungeon.
You find a couple healing items and stuff, but their inventory is so limited.
I think it's like 7 items or something.
And then you get like to what he was going to say, getting experience and leveling up. And leveling up doesn't do anything.
Well, leveling up does one of 3 things. You can increase your health by 1 point. I think it was 1 point for everybody, because everything you did was for everybody. So you had a choice of health, which everybody got 1 extra point of health, or TP, which is your magic, your technical points or whatever.
Yeah, everybody shared a level, by the way.
Yeah, and everybody shared the same. Everyone had their own separate HP bar, but they all shared the same MP bar.
Yeah, which was, I think,
minuscule.
I could be wrong. That could be how. I've actually played Mario RPG way more recently than I played Paper Mario. So that's how. Pretty sure it's how Mario RPG handled the same way. You share a pool of magic points.
If you're going to do that, at least make it a slight bit more than you had, because you had like 7 amongst 3 people, and
your base skills cost like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's like, what?
It's just.
And then on top of that, the last thing you could do. This is where the game kind of gets. People seem to really enjoy and get real more technical. Is it almost became a like a card-based thing, not because of combat, but because you get medal points, and you can equip different medals. And I looked up online, I figured out what would be the easiest way to play the game, and a lot of people talked about literally not leveling up anything except for the medal points. Because the medal points, eventually you would get, as you play through the game, you'd eventually get all these different kinds of medals, and some affected one character, some affected the whole party.
Like, not a great example, but the quote-unquote hard mode for Bug Fables was just like had a name. It was like the hard mode medal. It just made the game. So there was no option. You just equip this medal, and it made the game. It made it be stronger.
And if you didn't like it, you can unequip it.
Yeah.
So I played on hard mode for the first little, all the way up to the first boss, and I beat the first boss. I struggled, but I beat the first boss on hard.
Yeah, the spider.
Yeah, and after I did that, I was just kind of like, this is really difficult, and I decided I bumped it down to easy. And I was like, I've struggled with it on hard. Maybe with it being on easy, I'll have a more fun time. Because also when you play on hard, you got more experience for your combat. So I was technically on a higher level than I should have been. So the game should have been easier, except for your levels don't do anything. Like I said, they give you the medal points or the HP or this, but you don't get stat boosts. You don't get weapons. And it was I play RPGs because I like going to new towns. I like getting new weapons. I like getting new armor, and this didn't do any of that for me.
Again, some of that might lead back to expectation, not even expectations, or just preference and stuff. Like we would know that this game isn't going to do that at all. So this isn't like, ooh, I feel like playing an RPG with weapons and magic and stuff. I'm not going to turn on Bug Fables if that's what I'm craving.
But South Park did that. South Park, you got armor and you got equipment and you got everything.
Well, that's because those guys are like, aren't they big D&D nerds? Like that was the whole point of that game. Trey Parker, Matt Stoner, huge D&D dudes. That's what they wanted in that game. I assume. I don't know why they. I'm not going to get too deep into that. I don't know why they chose the Paper Mario battle system for South Park, and I don't know the battle system because they made a second game, and they're rumored to be making a third game right now.
That's dope.
Yeah. But anyway, that weapons and armor and stuff and all that funny, cool stuff was in there because of how they wanted to make their game.
But still, and I was immediately rubbed wrong. Not immediately, but it was rough. Well, the thing that I'll get to.
I think you're a tad more lenient with this battle system than I am.
I was trying to enjoy it. I was
gonna be trying so hard to like it.
I was trying really hard to like it, and because I like the art style, and I didn't hate the characters, and I wasn't
terribly attached to none of the characters, and the writing wasn't. everybody talk about how charming the writing is and blah blah blah. I read a bunch of Reddit threads, and I mean, I always read about. I'm always reading about video games all the time, and
You think maybe you overhyped it in your head by accident?
no, I knew what kind of game it was. I just didn't. I thought maybe it was a modern take on that style, and certain things would be different in a way that would make me like it.
Yeah.
But I didn't really care for I didn't care for the bug aesthetic. It didn't do anything for me. The writing didn't do anything for me. The writing of the characters, their personalities and stuff.
I feel young.
Nothing was like sticking. Like I was just like, okay, I think I even told you the night that I quit playing. I was like, the story's not doing it. The characters aren't doing it. Obviously, I absolutely hate the combat. Like I hate the combat. So I was like, I think it's like I'm probably gonna quit this now before I get any further. I'm just gonna move on.
And then I think I played it either that night or the following night, and I literally got into combat with a brand new enemy type.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself in a no-win scenario. I had to like run away and revive my character.
Yeah.
But I literally got into a fight where it was impossible for me to win. Because the game does that thing where you have land enemies and flying enemies.
Oh, man, I hated that.
And only one of your characters can hit flying enemies to knock them down.
They somehow made that extremely obnoxious. When I'm pretty sure like Final Fantasy X did that like 25 years ago, and I didn't hate it the way Final Fantasy X. Of course, Final Fantasy X has dramatically better combat than this game.
Oh yeah.
But like the way I think you had to use Waka to hit flying enemies and stuff like that, or far away things, and but he was powerful enough to actually kill things. It seemed. I don't know, something about it. When I found out I had to knock things out of the air, or he had to like knock that bug over to hurt it, I was just like, cool, another step to combat.
That I don't want.
A whole nother step to combat. Like, I just don't.
It was too much too quick. Like, this is all, like, literally in the first dungeon.
A lot of the stuff's in the first map and the first dungeon and stuff like that. I mean, maybe all this sounds great to y'all, whoever, listening and loves these RPGs and loves Paper Mario. Maybe this sounds incredible. I can't wait to play Bug Fables.
You're like, oh, the strategizing you have to do and everything and the constant attention. That's not for me.
Yeah.
I was, I guess, fated to not enjoy this game because I already didn't like anything about its core mechanic, which is the combat.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge something.
Maybe you disagree, but did you actually like the characters or the story that was getting told?
No, because they were hinting at like mysteries and stuff, but they were so unvague about like the mystery.
Like heavy-handed, maybe?
Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, no, this person might be evil. Oh, really? The dark-colored character with the mysterious mask is going to be evil? Okay.
The game seems written for 5-year-olds, but I don't know a 5-year-old that could understand the combat maybe well enough to even get through the game.
Oh, no. Yeah, I would agree with that. They were...
Maybe I'm underestimating the modern 5-year-old, but like...
I don't know. I've seen some of them. But the other thing is maybe they were trying to appeal to a sense of nostalgia, like make it look older, so you kind of just this kind of is to immediately remind you of Paper Mario and give you that stronger.
Well, that's what they were going for.
Exactly.
No doubt, that's what they were going for.
Well, yeah, but
There's another game. I don't know if we'll ever play it. No, I probably should because of the combat. There's another game called Another Crusade. I keep getting because we've give to a couple of campaigns for other games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about it right now because we don't actually have the games in hand that are successful Kickstarters. Anyway, when you do that, you get emails about other games. That and the some have been sharing on RPG pages. The developer of the is trying to share his Kickstarter page. But Another Crusade not only is inspired by Mario RPG and the like. It actually has like kind of looks like Mario RPG and the like. So I know what they're going for. But that's but to me that I might try because it looks like a little knight dude, like a little knight running around. I mean, it has the same combat systems. I'm like, why would I try this again? I'm getting sidetracked, but people keep making these games in that combat style. And I think maybe they do it with the nostalgia. Probably,
and I'll try them. I'll keep because I like RPGs. I'll keep
even. I tried another one right after. I mean, we'll say we'll talk about it in a few episodes. I literally, granted, that next game, which I know I'm hinting and being mysterious, but whatever. I didn't even know that game had that combat system. I was so sideswiped.
When that happened,
That game started it in the first fight. And I told Blake I did on the very first fight, and I realized that was the combat system. I'm like, I'm gonna quit this game.
mm-hmm.
As soon as I literally that's another thing. I was just like, I can't. There's no way I'm gonna get away through this game. There's whole groups of folks now that won't play an RPG if it ain't action button mashing and stuff like that, or people who just won't. So everybody has their different taste in games and stuff like that. But I found the turn-based RPG type that I cannot stand for nothing.
Well, I do find people online talking about turn-based combats are so boring. You hit the button and you wait. You hit the button and you wait. It's fine. Just all you gotta do is go.
I don't know. Those kind of folks. I said it's the same folks, and we're not complaining like that, but it's the same folks. There's a difference in a person who wants to strategize and plan their attacks and understand. That person understands the reason the game is designed that way.
Yeah.
Opposed to the person who doesn't understand that when all they want to do is run into an area and just mash on the attack button. It's two different kinds of people, and they make RPGs for both those kinds of people.
Now, I do want to say something. I wouldn't mind it. Because I played a game recently, which we'll probably talk about at a later date. I'll say the name of it, just so people can look it up. But it's called Eichenfell, and it has a similar battle system with the pressing buttons whenever you do an attack or whatever, and whenever you have to defend. But it did it the smart way. It had an option in the menu that said turn on or turn off button pressing. And then if you turned it on, it had a second feature that said, do you want to get okays every time or do you want to get perfects every time? Mm-hmm. And I was like, shoot, give me perfects every time.
That's what that is. And I don't know if you know the name, what they call that kind of stuff. That's it's getting pretty more and more common. It's accessibility. That's just the big, I'll call it trigger word right now in the gaming industry is accessibility. It starts with Souls games, stuff like that. Should Souls games have an easy mode and stuff like that? I'm fine with it. It's whatever. We may or may not talk about it. Well, we will. There's no chance we won't. Hades just hit Game Pass. Hades is doing extremely well. Everybody in the world loves Hades. Now, Hades is from the developer of Supergiant or Supermassive. Sorry, our dog is snoring. It's the developer of Bastion and all the like. And if you remember on a past podcast, I'm the one guy in the world who hated Bastion. But anyway, Hades is getting some. I know the game everybody loves it anyway, but Hades is also getting praise for its accessibility because apparently people have said Hades is kind of hard sometimes. But Hades has a God mode where you just turn it on and you just keep playing the game. And the game there's no. I think you even still get achievements and stuff because the developer wants you to see the story.
They want
all the way through.
As many people as possible to play their game and enjoy their game.
Enjoy it, because not everybody has time to struggle with a game for 100 hours, however long Hades takes to get through
and get good at it.
Get good. I said before on the podcast, I'll take an easy way out for a game that's like a mediocre game that I want to get through. I'll take the easy way out, or if there's some way to make it more enjoyable than it is without. And if I want something hard or something that's hard in the right way, there's a big. We're getting way off track on this discussion. Yeah. There's a big difference in hard in a good way and hard in a bad way. But we've played and beat every Souls game we've done it except Sekiro doesn't count. It's not really a Souls game. We haven't even played Sekiro. But all the other Souls games me and Blake have played through and beat with there's no you can't cheat in a Souls game. Not well.
I mean you can cheat, but
you could before the servers where they patched them up and stuff like that. But anyway, if you want a hard game, I'm gonna play a hard game. If other games have better ways to play them or maybe easier ways to play and that'll make me enjoy it more, I'm gonna play it that way.
Yeah.
And when I haven't played Eichenfell yet. When I play Eichenfell, I'm turning perfect on immediately because I do not want to hit buttons in that game.
No.
I want to see whatever story that game has. And Blake already knows I'm behind. I need to play that game so I can be on the podcast. But, as a side note, recently on Game Pass was Bloodroots. Also I think it even has accessibility in the thing. It's accessibility and has a God mode, which some would argue completely negates that game's experience because that's I'm getting way so far, but Bloodroots it's a one-hit kill. Enemies kill you one hit, and you kill enemies in one hit. Being invincible in Bloodroot takes away the entire experience. But if you want to skip through the entire game and see it all, I guess you would turn on invincibility.
Yeah.
I guess, which I've played Bloodroots without it so far. Of course, Bloodroots is so stressful that I haven't turned it back on a second time. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bug Fables doesn't have any accessibility things. It's just, it is what it is, and that's, I don't know, it's strange for, actually it's not strange for a modern game not to have it, because accessibility options are new.
Yeah, brand spanking.
It's just now a thing that's happening in the industry. So it's very, I mean, they could always patch it in later. They might not bother at all if nobody's complaining. You never know. The industry's always changing. That's it. You know why I quit the game and why I'll never have no intention of going back to it. I did like the combat, the art and the story and the characters passed me by. I can't remember. I couldn't even tell you without Blake tell me their name. I couldn't tell you their names.
Only because I wrote them down prior. If I hadn't wrote them down, I wouldn't be able to remember them because they were pointless to me.
So that's all I've really got for Bug Fables. I don't regret quitting it. I haven't thought about it until now because I have no reason to think about it. We always had this thing sometimes when it comes to a video game. If, say, in Bug Fables was one, and I had another one not too long ago, a game that we have because there's so many games in the world, and we have a podcast about video games. It's good for us to go through a bunch of games. We like to complete games. It makes for a better podcast, give or take, maybe. Mm-hmm. But we have it if it works out with GameFly games. We'll play a GameFly game, and it goes 1 or 2 or 3 days after your initial play, your initial night with the game, and you haven't had any itch or any inkling or any thought to going back to that game. It may be best not to. Just move on to the next thing. 'Cause we have infinite games to play.
Oh yeah, and it grows every day.
Game Pass adds games every day. Our GameFly stuff, I add games to our GameFly every week probably, and it's so we had this little thing, and it's just how we play games. And we had that thing we talked about before. Like I'll play something, or Blake will play something, and we get to a point where like we tell the other one like, don't even turn this on.
Yeah.
Like we'll get to it later, but the other RPG I was talking about that I played that I quit immediately. I quit the first or second night I played.
Wait, you played like 2 or 3 hours?
First night, a couple hours, and I told Blake right from the get. I was like, don't even turn it on. There's no point. Like he saw, that's a different episode. But anyway, I done lost my thought because I'm rambling about things that get on my nerves, I guess.
Yeah.
That's all I got for Bug Fables. What anything else you got? We can move on to a game we both actually played all the way through.
Yeah, I don't really have anything much else. Like I'm not pooing on it. It's just not my sort of game.
Yeah, you haven't played Mario RPG or anything like that.
Like, I'm aware of them.
You're aware of it. You played South Park years before I did, probably when it first came out.
Well, South Park, and I remember playing, what do you call that game? Mario and Luigi All-Stars?
Oh, yeah, you played that. Had the same combat system, yeah.
Or something like that. I remember playing that. Again, never beat it, but I do remember playing it just because it just gets too difficult.
Yeah.
Requires too much perfection, and I don't pay that much attention. I'm just like, I'm going to hit A and, let the enemy take the turn or whatever, but it...
Yeah, gotcha. So, Bug Fables is not for us. Maybe it's for you. It's on Game Pass. I don't know. Who knows? For now. Who knows for how long? All right. That's all I've got. Blake, you want to lead on with our next game, which is actually we'll say a GameFly game that we both played all the way through.
Our second game is called Close to the Sun.
Feel it in the air. There's something coming. The consequences are building. I don't want to be a sinking ember. The all remember as a warning. What have you done? What's in the darkest water Is that what we get for playing too close to the sun?
It was originally came out May 2nd, 2019, and it's since then been put on, I think, everything. No, do we play this on PlayStation or Xbox?
This is Xbox.
Okay, so I think it's on everything then. I had a hard time remembering,
Yeah.
but I think it's available on everything, and I think it's probably about to be available for Switch here soon.
Yeah, who cares?
So it's developed by Storm in a Teacup. This is the name of their studio. I like when they try to be different, and not like Game Studio, the Game Studio, or they try to be at least have a little fun, be a little clever.
Yeah. Too bad you can't get any too bad it's like nearly impossible to hear any how much googling it would take to find the meaning behind any one developer's name of their studio. Why it's called a certain thing, unless you found something in particular, but.
Yeah, so this company is Italian, and it's between 18 and 20 people. I couldn't find an exact number because it said they had a couple of interns that kind of float around, so it's kind of hard to... Yeah, interns work there, but interns seem to... You know what an intern is. They kind of rotate out pretty often. So it was 18 to 20 people, which is a good solid number for an indie studio.
Yep.
And they made 4 games thus far. This one, Close to the Sun. Then they made it was called Lantern, a VR experience. I don't know what.
What's it been on? Because the only thing we have is a PSVR. So is it only on like Oculus and?
I think it's like Oculus and
Vive and.
Yeah, like those the mobile.
The bigger ones.
Mm-hmm. Then there was something called Inki, E-N-K-I, Inki. But one of them we actually did play.
Oh really?
Yeah. Nero. Nothing ever remains obscure or something like that. It's a walking simulator, but like, if it's the one I think it is, I should have looked into it more, but I can't really
It's weird we play a game for another game. This is before podcast game.
Yeah. But it was that one where you like started out as a little kid, but then you turned into like a tree spirit, and you're kind of just walking along this really luscious, fantastically colored landscape. If I showed you a picture of it, you'd recognize exactly what I was talking about.
That's an early Xbox One game, wasn't it? Was that
I think it was PS4. Nero. Nero.
Yeah, anyway, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And it was a walking simulator.
Had an old game. Yeah, we play a lot of walking simulators. We haven't covered one on the podcast in a while.
No, well, we can probably. I mean, if we haven't really played any ones lately.
Yeah. I mean, Close to the Sun's about as close as we've gotten to a walking simulator.
But it's still pretty interactive.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, we'll get to the sort of meat of the things. It's a first-person puzzler horror game.
I guess it's supposed to be scary. It's atmospherically scary, probably, but there's not really, like there are chase sequences.
Yeah.
But you're initially chased by a dude with a knife. It's not very. I mean, we're desensitized. However you say that word. Desensitized. I'm getting chased by dudes with knives. Doesn't really scare me that much, especially when it's kind of. You're kind of given a path to run on because the game's kind of linear in a way. If you run the path, you make it. If you don't run the right way, you don't make it. And you start over again. But then you're chased by some monster thingies, which again aren't very.
It's a similar thing where like
story-wise, what they are. I remember what they were was kind of cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But them chasing you, I mean, it's really just like you're kind of just like running towards the goal, and then if you get caught, you just rerun towards the goal. I thought the general maybe walking around and the sounds and stuff, it was very I would like to say it was very BioShocky, but it didn't really give me BioShock vibes. Even though you're on a thing in the water, you're just not dealing with water all that much. So I don't know. And some things don't give me like. It's strange to think that, like I said a while back on another episode, that like on the Bendy episode where Bendy. The developers clearly had BioShock influence, but Bendy, you're just inside this building in this studio kind of place, and Bendy actually gives me more BioShock vibes than this game does, and this game is actually based like in a nautical kind of place, kind of nautically themed, kind of like BioShock is. That's weird how a developer can maybe
Have influence.
pull that, or how a developer can pull that off in a different way. You know what I mean? How it's weird that Bendy feels more BioShocky to me than Close to the Sun does.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? Is that just me? I guess that's my own experience. That's kind of interesting that I think about it. That because Bendy is not a BioShock thing. It's just
Even then, it was more BioShock early on, like the
Yeah.
first little bit. And this definitely has 100% BioShock influences.
yeah.
But it's also the big difference: non-combat.
There's no combat at all.
You didn't battle anything. There was creatures and stuff out to get you, but you ran.
Yeah.
There was no combat. In Bendy, there was combat, so I could see
Loose.
why it was loose combat. But I
Yeah.
could see why you would think.
I just think the feel and the look. Maybe I say look, but it's a feeling that I can't explain. That when I was really playing Bendy back then, I was just like, these people loved BioShock. This developer loved BioShock. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Anyway,
And do you want to kind of get into? Well, the art style was realistic, right? It was.
yeah, this was. I don't think it was stylized. Or like, how many people? You only see like 2 or 3. It was going for realistic people, but they were kind of stylized in a way. What was the time? Do you have the time period written down?
It was 1897. That's all. It was just 1897.
So kind of all the technology and the way everything looks is kind of period of that period.
And we'll start it off. It's a fictionalized version of 1897. I'll go ahead and just so you're aware, because the entire game starts with you landing on the boat, or no, you get into
You're on a boat, which is weird. You're on a in 1897 on a autopiloted boat going through this. What's the other thing called?
well, you go into the main ship, which is called the Helios,
Helios.
which is I'm pretty sure it's the Grecian god of the sun. He's the sun titan,
Yeah.
Helios. I'm pretty sure it's Greek.
Which is on purpose. It's obviously
Yeah.
it's named like that on purpose.
And you're on the ship, as you find out very early on in the prologue. So this isn't a spoiler, but it's the ship designed by Tesla to be put in international waters, so that they don't have any laws restrictions on them about performing science experiments.
Yeah.
An awful lot like Rapture at
yeah.
the bottom of the ocean,
Yeah.
but slightly more real, more feasible. Let's just make a boat instead of
the size of the ship, probably is not as feasible. I mean,
Yeah.
more feasible. Building a big boat's more feasible than building an underwater city. I get that.
And like we said, the game it's very. It does have the very rapturous feel because you're coming in after the big scare.
Yeah.
And-
When you get there, kind of like, there's no way we're going to avoid BioShock references.
Yeah.
You get there, like, and you get raptured. Everybody's dead. There's blood everywhere. There's even this room you go into. There's bodies all over the place, and there's this there's a cool thing where there's like flies buzzing, and if you walk to the room, your character kind of like she fans the. You even say who we're playing as, but she fans tries to fan the flies away from her face. It's
Because the whole point of the game, the whole point of the story, is you play Rose Archer, and you've received a letter from your sister Ada, who is an acclaimed scientist on the Helios, handpicked by Tesla himself. So she's like uber smart, and so she sent you a letter saying, "I need you to come here to help me solve this thing." This mystery, this thing that's going on. I need you here. And she's like, and I think they're estranged anyway, because I think her smarts because I know because I played the game, but Rose is an investigative journalist,
yeah.
while Ada is a uber smart scientist, but that caused them to have different, you know what I mean, just different things. Like she follows with her brain, while Rose followed with her gut instinct. So she's like, this feels wrong, as opposed to, breaking things down. She would just go with her feeling, and emotion versus logic gets in. That's a fairly common mechanic that happens in a lot of storytellings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You that disinterested in what I have to say?
You're explaining the characters. It's fine. Yeah, I agree with you.
And like there are a few parts that like made me kind of like
You
jump.
don't even really see your sister for a long time. You spend most of the game alone.
Yeah, but it does the BioShock thing where you communicate with people via a headset or via
this weird radio thing your sister leaves you.
It's a weird like it's a Bluetooth headphone, but it's like 3 times bigger than it needs to be, and it's got a bunch of antenna that you somehow just slide on the side of your face. And
Your sister talks to you when she needs to. I think Tesla bothers you sometimes through it. And there's that other guy.
Aubrey
Yeah.
and his best friend Benny.
I would say
I'm not gonna spoil any of the cool story moments.
there's just something about Aubrey that's the only thing that bothered me about Aubrey. I don't know if I want to say it. Maybe there's gonna be a little bit of a spoiler right here. Maybe skip a few minutes ahead, but I want to say we'll talk about it for a few minutes. That when you meet Aubrey, or when you're talking to Aubrey over the radio, maybe I was just paying too much attention, but it's very clear that Aubrey's a bad guy.
Very clear, especially the further you get into it.
Like from the get-go, it's like, oh, this guy is bad news.
Yeah, he's
extremely nice to you when you meet him on the radio, and he's going to help you and all this stuff for you and blah blah blah. And it's like kind of, I don't know, but it's just like that. Again, it's like BioShock, and what's his name in BioShock?
Fontaine or Andrew Ryan?
Fontaine's nice. Oops, he's bad.
Yeah,
and wants to kill you. Aubrey's not as interesting, but he's the Fontaine for this. There's a lot of BioShock stuff in this.
There's a boatload of I didn't even mean to do that.
There's a boatload of BioShock references in this game.
Yeah,
it's just all over it. But Aubrey is he's the Fontaine, dudes. I mean, it's just you're supposed to be like surprised, I guess, when he's like he's mean or bad later, but it waits to wait. Like you talk to him throughout the whole game, a large portion of the game, and then all of a sudden he's bad.
He's the last chapter.
But he's been like bad all along. He's been like working against you behind the scenes, I guess, in certain aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But he just comes like he just does it to your face finally, and closer to the end, or just like, yeah, I mean, I know.
Yeah, I saw that coming from a mile away.
I mean, there's nobody else here for one thing.
Exactly.
Your sister's not trying to do nothing bad to you, but he did have one of the I don't remember the exact line. But
I think I do.
You said it was Aubrey and his best friend Benny. Benny's dead. Has been dead for a while probably. He's got, I guess, Benny he's hanging out in the room with Benny.
He's in a locked room with the decaying corpse.
Earlier in the game, and Rose is talking to him on the radio, and she's talking, he says some things, and she goes, "Aubrey, are you okay?" And he goes, "Rose, oh, what's the line?" He's like, "Rose, I'm scratching my back with my dead best friend's hand. I don't think I'm okay." I'm messing the line up.
The line goes, "Rose, I'm currently using my best friend's severed arm as a back scratcher. What do you think?" And she's like,
goes,
"Okay."
Oh, okay. And it got me it's better when it's delivered in the game. It's a good thing.
The voice acting was
we will say
great.
Yeah, we often leave with voice actors. There is 4 or 5 voice actors probably.
And I was trying to look them up just to try to give us a little bit of a background on them, but they all seem to be a lot of brand new people. None of them this is the big
sometimes
thing.
Brand new is better. It's fun to get into a game and recognize Crispin Freeman and everybody. All the people we normally know for all the games, or Nolan North, or it's fun to recognize people and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just good just to hear. Maybe it gives the game a little more personality that we didn't really not really I mean, a little personality, a little bit. It maybe lets you sit in the world a little more. I don't know. Again, and I love famous voice actors too. So I mean, I guess it goes either way, but it really fit. They all seem like they were like a part of the world. I think maybe Rose, this voice actress, was probably the worst of the bunch. I feel like she had some reading of her lines that just wasn't, if I remember correctly, it's been a couple of months maybe since we played, but I feel like she wasn't maybe at the top of her game. The Aubrey voice actor was really good.
It's funny you're saying all this because their list of credits, the actress who did Rose has literally done 4 things, and those 4 things have been in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, she's brand spanking new, and 3 of them, I don't even know what they are.
Yeah,
She's
that's fine.
cheerleader number 1, voice of Megan something.
Don't matter.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are. They don't matter.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I just think maybe, I don't remember not liking her, but I felt like maybe she was the weakest of the bunch. Her sister's voice actress was pretty good.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Aubrey, because Aubrey is the one who has the biggest credit line. But one kind of fun thing, his most recent credit was he was Jorgen Winters in Second Extinction. He was the voice of the German sniper.
Oh, really?
He was the same voice actor, yeah.
We just no way of ever know that.
No, but I thought that was kind of funny.
Does characters even talk in Second Extinction?
A little bit, I guess.
Speaking of Second Extinction, I guess I should say it. I should have said it. I'll say it before.
You should apologize.
No, I apologize. You could make a drinking game out of how many times I said the wrong video game in that podcast. The one with the last
Jared.
episode with Jared. We talked, but we switched to the we went into the edit, and I said Second Evolution probably over a dozen times.
Enough to get you drunk.
Anyway, back to this game. The voice actors help. The voice actors can always help, and voice actors could also hurt a game, obviously. But I'll take funny bad voice actors over no voice actors any day of the week.
Yeah.
You know, honest, swear. I take it over just reading text. And there's no reason this day and age we should be reading text. I mean, that sounds lazy, but come on.
Because it just gives more. I get it.
We complain every episode about this.
I know. I get it, because you're like, if you read it in your head, you get to create your own voice for the character, and it makes it more your character, your experience. But if someone's reading it to you, it becomes everyone gets the same experience. They have the same type. Does that make any sense? Everyone has the same type of experience. But I would much rather, because I've read in my youth, and I really dig audiobooks. They're wonderful.
It's like a single voice actor for an entire book.
Exactly. In some cases, you get 2.
Or a cast, anyway.
Yeah. But
Let's get back to the game.
yeah. So the game itself isn't very long.
Yeah.
It's like, 10 chapters? Maybe 11?
Yeah, some chapters are a few minutes long.
Yeah. So I beat the game in 11 hours.
I forgot to check my clock.
I beat the entire game took me 11 hours, and that was like with dying, and I did use a TA guide for the most part. But then once I did not get the 1K, because
There's a speed run and a no dying achievement.
Yeah, which
is a double whammy of bad stuff for achievements.
Yeah, because some of the deaths I
think even dying in the speed run negates the speed run achievement.
Yeah, because it wasn't proper. It needs to be properly patched or something like that.
So yeah, no 1K, but
no, but it's definitely worth playing. There's a lot of.
Are you wrapping up now?
No. I'm just saying there's a lot of these cool, intricate moments. Like, more than anything, what has actually happened that caused everyone to become dead on the Helios?
Caused everyone to become dead.
To become dead.
They're all murdered. Slaughtered.
But what's causing everyone to become dead is a. Do you want to spoil what they are, or do you just want to call them creatures?
No, we won't spoil. You need to play because it'll take away from the game. I feel like a little bit if you know what they are before going in.
You have these creatures that kind of look almost like lickers, maybe.
I don't remember what they look like. You spend most of the time running from them.
You do. The creatures were good. They had interesting sound and a good sound cues and a good tension building technique, I would say, with what you kind of knew they might show up, but you had no idea when. Like if I open this door or if I'm walking down this.
It was more set piecey than that.
It was set piecey, but you also, I think they were good.
Yeah. Back to before the creatures, I said there was a guy with a knife that chases you.
Yeah, his name is.
We could talk about him more because he's really early in the game. I don't even remember who he was. Why he was? Is this some crazy guy?
His name is Ludwig.
Maybe I remember Ludwig. Yeah.
His name is Ludwig. I think Aubrey knows his name. He's like, I think that guy is called Ludwig, but why does he know your name?
Yeah.
And Rose is like, I don't know. I've never met the guy, but he somehow knows your name. And frankly, I don't think that mystery is resolved. By the end of it, I think after everything's said and done, you You know, you come to a
Maybe
big
maybe it's on a readable thing somewhere. Who Ludwig is?
maybe, but I think they said they're working on making another one, making more.
More of this?
Hmm.
What's that anything to do with Ludwig?
Well, maybe because Ludwig's thing is complicated, and maybe I don't know, maybe there's going to be more to it, because he worked on the ship. He was one of the super smart scientist people, and something happened to him, make him snap, and maybe they'll talk about it. But I'm not entirely sure what more they could do with the sequel. But they said that they would, if it went well, they do want to make more, because they said the story wasn't technically done.
Yeah.
Like, if it ended there, I'm okay with it. But they said they could do more. And yeah, so Ludwig has these, like we said, these chase scenes.
Yeah, they're not really different from like. It's just like I said set piece. It's a set piece where he shows up. He does like a small cutscene sometimes, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm going to get you," or whatever he says. And
Yeah.
your camera will turn. And you just start running, and then
And
you get away. And usually you get away in some sequence of something like you fall through something, or you jump somewhere he won't follow, or he falls in something. It's
or
just
there's an
always
explosion behind you.
Yeah, there's no puzzle solving to the encounters.
It's just a sprint and find the correct path.
Find the correct path.
Because I died a bunch of times on my first one. I didn't die in the other ones, but if you can't be you can't be looking in front of you. It's one of the things where you have to look at the foreground and be like, you're like, okay, I'm running up this stairway, hallway, and you kind of like, and sometimes they cue you with little exit sign, little green exit light. So if you're paying attention,
the green lights tell you where to go.
you can follow.
But
it's subtle.
I think on one of the later Ludwig encounters, it's a lie.
Oh,
I was
really?
following the green lights one time, and I took a green light right into a door that wouldn't open. I was like, well, that ain't right, and he just killed me. I was like, I wonder if that's a trick. Like you're supposed to get so used to the green, and the game tricks you.
That's a possibility.
Maybe. So I don't know about that, but I do like games that use things like that. I mean, some games are more obvious than others, but like, you see something that's this uses green lights, like, but sometimes they're more obvious, sometimes they're more subtle. But it's the game's designers, the design of the game, directing you on the correct path.
And it's not, like I said, I don't think it was an actual exit sign. I think all the doors had green light for open, red light for closed or locked or whatever. And I think and you just ran through and followed. So I mean, it was a clever use of an already established in-game mechanic, which I applaud. Mm-hmm. Anytime you want it, you set the rules in your world, and you use the rules, and you don't just kind of like, ooh, let's just do this because we can. Mm-hmm. Cool. You make if you make a world, video game, whatever, you make a world, you establish rules, you stick to your rules. Don't just go wishy-washy, flimsy-whimsy, and just do whatever you want. It makes for better storytelling when you do. When you stay inside the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to like go off on that, but it makes it a better experience for everybody involved.
So I think what else there's about the game, because it's really
it's very story
puzzle solving and finding keys and flipping lots of switches. There's environmental hazards which get really tedious at the end. Those the Tesla coils, they kill you instantly. Yeah, I could imagine doing that no death run, because you just you step one little inch to the left or right too far and you're instantly killed. I mean,
and that has a lot to do with it being a smaller studio. Then I guess they didn't have time to like critique it, because sometimes it's like you're looking down and you're like, I'm nowhere close to this thing, but you take one slight step forward and you die. Like they didn't have they didn't narrow these death windows.
Maybe that's how they wanted it. Who knows?
Maybe.
But I should have said it earlier when we talked about graphics and stuff. But I'll say we talk about how usually with the studio, more money equals better graphics, and a lot of indie studios you don't get top of the line visuals and stuff like that. I don't know if it's the skill of the developers or if there's some money behind the scenes that I don't know about, but this game does look incredibly good for an indie game, visually speaking, like the graphics and stuff, the way the design and everything. Well, not interested in the design, because the design's just architecture. Like, you can make architecture look great with shitty graphics. Yeah. But, which is also great, too. The game has really neat, like, a style of its own. But the But visually speaking, I forget if it runs on the Unreal or not. But what games don't? Either Unreal or I forget the other one. But the game looks awesome, and I was like I'll say pleasantly surprised, like really like surprised from the initial turning on of the game. I was like, whoa, this looks really good. And indie games don't ever look like this.
I wonder. It is like I said earlier. They're Italian, and I know that some countries do give funding to entertainment things. Endeavors. I know like a lot of people get tax breaks and stuff when they film up in Canada. That's why.
Sweden.
Yeah, that's like 90% of shows you watch are filmed in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Or
tax breaks.
Yeah, you get all these tax breaks, and that's one of the things for I think Walking Dead being filmed strictly in Georgia and only Georgia. It got a massive uptick in because they filmed on. So, and I think other foreign countries will give you deals like that. Because I know.
Maybe. But I don't know. I don't. Who knows? If it was money or if it was just they're really good at using that engine.
Yeah.
Or what? I mean, the game. They could have made that. They could have made the exact same game, and it looked nowhere near. They put time and effort and there's skill involved in making a game look a certain way, and I think there was a talented studio.
They also got kind of lucky with it being a ship. They were able to reuse a lot of assets without it looking out of place, like in some games.
Yeah, maybe.
Like reusing the same hallway, but let's put some blood splatter on this wall. Or this whole.
It could have been that, and the game not being like open world, like you could condense the size. Now, granted, there's open world games now that look insane, but smaller games make for higher fidelity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I take quality over quantity any day.
Oh yeah, it got any day quality.
Anyway, I mean to go backwards that far. We would really mention though. We mentioned it was going for realistic. We didn't mention how actually really good the game actually looks while playing.
There's one thing that I kind of wish it did, but I don't think it ever really does. There's no, which I'm like upset that it didn't do it, but I'm also kind of glad it didn't do it. Is I don't remember there being a lot of like water.
For being on a boat.
Yeah, I get it. If water on a boat, that's a bad thing. You're sinking. But there could have been at one point where like there's got to be some scientists.
Water, in the engine part, I think you're in, because I wanted to say because it kind of along the lines of like added development things that they didn't have to do. Like I thought when she walked to the dead bodies and she'll fan her, she'll go ugh.
Oh yeah.
She'll fan. There's this part closer when you're closer down to the engine area and you walk down into water. The first time you walk into water, she'll raise her arm. You can see it when you're in first person. Yeah. She'll raise her arms up. And she goes, "Ooh, cold."
Yeah. Oh, I do remember that. I think that's like after your first Ludwig chase.
It's pretty close to
and
that.
You're going to the engine.
But she'll do that. She'll and it's cool. It's an added little bit of a nice little touch that doesn't even. It's such a rare kind of thing that you notice it in that kind of game. People don't put this in video games usually.
And I think there were a few bodies in that water that you hit the bodies and the bodies bounced off you and floated away in the little puddle. I do remember that. Well, yeah.
It's not like, but there's no. Well, that's a spoiler to say. There's no like running from a flood scenes
or like raising the water level puzzles. I don't think
there's none of that. There's none of that kind of stuff.
I mean, like in this entire ship, there wasn't one person working in some sort of aquarium or some sort of like water thing.
There was no. I don't know if you see a fish in this game. You see some birds somehow.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever see a fish in this entire
but
game.
I mean, water complicates things. There's a whole other part of it, and you have to like, I move slow underwater, I move faster underwater. You have to add these whole other.
If you want water, you can play Soma.
Yeah.
Episode 1 or 2 of the podcast.
But that's just one thing that I was kind of like, I would have liked at least one, like kind of like swim through some pipes or just one. I'm not saying
something.
Because sometimes that's the most annoying part in the game. Where like, these underwater scenes, they suck. But I'm like, just one, just something. It'd have been different than running around the ship, flipping switches, puzzle solving. But just
you go from one end of the ship to the other, basically going through all the different environments and areas.
But all in all, I liked it.
We played it all the way through. Like in a time in our lives, our gaming lives, where I mentioned earlier, we don't like something. It doesn't get turned back on, period. we play a game all the way through. In our opinion, obviously, if we played all the way through, it's worth playing.
And I did play longer than Drew did because I missed a few collectibles.
He went back for them.
And I went back and got them, so I got literally the only achievements I was missing was
death and speedrun.
Speedrun and no death. And you didn't get all the collectibles, I don't think.
I didn't go back. Did we do Call of the Sea on the podcast?
The last episode.
Yeah, episode 4.
49 was Call of the Sea.
That was the whole thing where you went back for collectibles in that too. And once something goes wrong in a guide or I just ain't going the right way, I don't think there was a TA guide for Close to the Sun. Actually, you had to mention it.
I thought there was. Was there not?
I remember looking for collectibles. Because I remember looking for collectibles kind of blindly in this.
Okay, so maybe
remember I pointed out that one that they had on the Ludwig chase, where the game kind of missed the game where Ludwig chases you to this series of hallways.
That's right.
And I told you, I was like, you're actually, I mean,
you're safe.
Seeing outside the wall of the game, you're actually
completely safe.
You're actually safe for a minute to work. When I went, and I didn't go that one way for a collectible. Yeah. I didn't have a guide. I was just looking around.
Okay, yeah. So I think we didn't have.
The game is so small and unknown. You get really small games, you don't really get guides. It's hard to find a good guide for them. I wasn't following a guide, but I didn't go back for the collectibles I missed. I don't tend to go back for anymore. I would back in the day. I'd get every achievement possible. And I was really sick in the head about it. But I'm not going to go back if it ain't going to lead me to getting all the achievements. I'm not going to go back.
I would go back if it was something easy, like it literally like you can sprint through, get this. As soon as you pick it up, the game auto saves and you quit out. It's not like you had to like play to the next save point. Like, sometimes you have to pick up a collectible and play to the next auto save and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
You got to play the entire game all the way.
Exactly. But this had chapter skip, and I was like, I'll try. I'll try to clean up a little bit. I think that's why mine was a little longer than yours.
I don't know what my game time was actually, but
I did
enjoy it all the way through. It's a short game, but maybe too long.
Yeah,
the story it was trying to tell.
It could have trimmed up the edges a little.
There's some meat in the middle it didn't really need.
Well, my thing is still about the whole Ludwig thing. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's a crazy dude chasing you.
We might have just not been reading all the things you pick up. There's so many things to pick up. We talked about the podcast before. I'm not reading this crap.
Yeah, especially in a game that already had voice acting. Have them read it to me.
Yeah.
Or something.
If you care enough, they'll read it. So maybe a little bit's explained, because I feel like he maybe should have been. He's kind of there in the beginning, and then he's just. I say he's just gone. There's some scenario stuff, and you kind of don't worry about him again, and then the monster stuff. We're not gonna get to the why the monsters are there, because if you play a game like this, you're playing for the story really more than there's some puzzle solving. People like puzzles. Some light puzzle solving, but it's mostly exploring and figuring out what's going on. Trying to find your sister.
Yeah, you're trying to find Ada and everything,
which leads to a interesting scene when you finally get to your sister.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, one of the better scenes actually in the game. In a game that's got good stuff going on, it's a really good scene when you get to your, maybe spoilers even saying you find your sister, but the whole game's about it.
So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but anyway, it is not on Game Pass. This was a GameFly game.
A strictly GameFly game.
This is one of my favorite things about. Now, I didn't love this game, but one of my favorite things about GameFly is getting a game like this and it being something that nobody's heard of, and it's being on my GameFly. It's the kind of stuff I love for this podcast. Is something there's probably nobody on this listening to this podcast has ever even heard of this game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no publicity for it. There's nobody pushing it. There's nothing for this game anywhere. When I looked around, it's got some few reviews and stuff like that on the
I like getting off on some of the lesser known.
Getting off? Ugh.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, go ahead.
But just the lesser known quantities, and just being a hey, it's play it. It's not and just being because everyone needs stuff to be talked about. This game, it's not the greatest thing I've ever played, but it's worth playing. It should be talked about for giving all it's got. Mm-hmm. But chances are it's not Call of Duty, so people don't care.
Yeah, I don't think the folks who even play Call of Duty care about Call of Duty.
No, not really.
The last thing, you got anything else for this?
No.
The last thing I want to mention for this, and I will have already played it. I would have played it when Blake mentioned the game. Is this game actually has an original song written for it by a band that I don't know. More of a seems like a. I looked up. I forgot to look them up. More of a synth kind of light rock kind of band called Porcelain Pill, and they wrote an actual. I don't know how they got in contact with or anything like that, but they wrote a song called "Close to the Sun." It's for this game. It plays in the credits. It's a full blown. It's like 3.5 minute song. I've played. You've already heard it. I've played the entire. I've already got it, found it, and I plan to play it when Blake intros the game.
Are you gonna play it in its entirety?
They've already heard it by now. It doesn't matter how I play it, but they've already heard it. But anyway,
I was just asking.
Mind your own business. What I do when I'm editing.
Sorry.
But anyway, regardless of the popularity of a band or the kind of music, whether I like it or not, the song is fitting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the song or not. I'll play it for you.
I briefly do.
I might play it for you. I can play it off the computer. I'll play it for you after the podcast. But it fits as the credits start rolling and the song starts playing. And it's cool. The coolest part is it's written. You listen to the lyrics and stuff like that. Like it's about the game.
It's pretty cool. I wonder if someone knew someone.
Who knows? But you don't ever get that with hardly ever get that with video games. Like, it's so rare. But still pretty cool. Like, you get licensed music in games, but they're never about the game.
Trying to think of, like, we've had because some of the lighter stuff we've done, Blackwood Crossing, they had the song Crossings. That it was wrote for.
Was that wrote for? Or just
it was wrote for the song, for the game. And that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. We had
again, Call to See, but that was a cover with the two voice actors did the cover.
The Good Old Pal.
Good Old Pal. Anyway, cool stuff. Cool little music thing. I'll play. You've already heard it, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And it kind of sets up the mood, I think, of the game. The mood, the general mood is death and dreary for the whole place.
Oh, yeah.
The song's pretty cool. I like it for not be the kind of music I listen to. It's still pretty interesting, and I'll have their name and stuff will be in the. I might link to their Spotify page in the show notes if you want to see if you like the sound of that song. You might like something else, other things that band does. I think I said their name, Porcelain Pill. When I found the song, I think it's one guy actually. I forget. I don't remember his name. I think Porcelain Pill is like a project. It's like a one guy who does all the instruments and the electronic stuff and puts it all together. Anyway, it's cool. It's cool. You don't ever get that kind of stuff.
No, you don't.
So, shorter game if you GameFly if you have GameFly. If you,
like I said, it was about.
It'd be a great Game Pass game, but I mean, who knows? I mean, how do you get on Game Pass? Who knows? If you want to support the developer, $15.
Yeah, if you could find it for somewhere. It definitely ain't worth $60, but I guess
no. Indie developers don't ever put their games out that high.
I'd say it.
I would be surprised if it's base price, like retail price 15. Was $15, $14.99.
Yeah, I could if anywhere 20 or below.
Okay, gotta up me $5, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for a 10-15 hour, you go real slow, maybe 15-hour experience, or and you get the replay value of trying to get the speed run. Good luck with that.
Some people dig the challenge. Not my.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's a cool game. Definitely worth playing. If you're a BioShock fan, I mean, you'll see you get all the. I'll say it's not even references. It is just what the game is. It's clearly designed by people who liked BioShock. It's really cool.
Is it more an homage?
Homage, I guess. More homage to BioShock. Yeah.
Referencey.
Yeah. So that's all I got for that. So you got anything else for Close to the Sun? No?
I'm good on it.
All right. Then the last thing we'll do here is Blake's going to try to sell you on a movie without spoiling it. And I remind you here again, if you want to hear Blake talk openly about movies, try our other podcast, Action, the movie podcast with him and Steve, where Blake won't, as you've seen us on this podcast, Blake dance around spoilers as much as possible. The other podcast is supposed to be where you hopefully have already watched the movie and then You hear two people who love movies talk about a movie.
You can engage in the conversation too.
Exactly. So let's go back to our format for this podcast, where Blake tries to sell you a movie without spoiling it.
All right. So the movie I'm going to be talking about this time, hopefully I'll pique your interest enough so you'll give it a gander. It's called Free Fire. Now, it was originally put out on the Toronto International Film Festival. It was originally what it debuted in September 8th, 2016. And then, through negotiations, and then it finally got released in theaters. I think it was only released in the UK, which I thought was kind of strange. I didn't see that it got like an international releasing, like for theater-wise. It got distributed, of course. But it was released in the UK March 31st, 2017 in UK theaters. Now, it's written and directed by a gentleman named Ben Wheatley. And he's done a couple of things. One thing called High Rise, and it's a what do you call it? It was like a sci-fi drama. Oddly enough, starring Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was like,
I know who he is, obviously.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll give that a whirl. That seems like it could be pretty cool because I like the actor enough. I don't know what the concept is, but based off this guy's repertoire and stuff that I want to see, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, I doubt he makes too many movies like Free Fire.
True. But his couple other things is he was responsible for an ABCs of Death. U is for Unearthed.
It's been years since we watched that.
I know, but I remember it's the one which I'll bring up because he apparently really likes to work with this actor because he appears in this movie. He's a guy who we've spoken about in another movie, Michael Smiley. Tires.
Oh, yeah, Douglas Smiley.
Because
he was in ABCs of Death?
He was in Ewan's for Unearthed. He's one of the guys who unearths the thing.
Okay, cool.
Because the whole Unearthed thing is filmed from the first person view of the monster and it's chasing him.
You had
down.
him, and recently we did Come to Daddy.
Come to Daddy.
Yeah.
And we were like, but the other cool thing is this guy also wrote, directed, and produced Kill List.
Which we have been recommended.
And we need to
us
multiple
by
times.
Your other podcast buddy Steve
and his brother Jeff
had recommended it to us, and we ended up buying it somewhere or bought a steelbook that came. This is nonsense, but the steelbook came with a region locked Blu-ray.
Yeah, so
I haven't watched Kill List yet,
but I want to because based off Free Fire, the people who've recommended it and you for Unearthed,
yeah, I'm sure it's great. We've already been told it's great. So,
and the other thing, he is attached to it to be directing it, and it's supposed to start filming January 2022. Is The Meg 2, The Trench.
He's doing so okay. So the original director for The Meg isn't doing Meg 2. They got this guy instead.
This guy's it's called Meg 2, The Trench.
Writer and directing.
As far as I know, he's just directing.
Oh, okay, because his writing is great in Free Fire.
So, but he might being a director, he still might be able to add in a couple of things.
I guess I'm sort of glad there's another Meg movie.
And they did say that they do want to have some levity, but they are aiming for a darker tone. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Because
Meg wasn't really scary per se.
No, it was a fun movie. But as far as I can tell, everyone's coming back. It's Statham. Everyone's coming back. So
that little dog.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll give her a starring role.
Yeah,
but
that's cool. So is it? I think you said he's been attached to direct. Is this hopes and dreams, or is this in pre-production?
He's attached. They start filming January 2022.
Sweet. So it's most likely going to happen.
Yeah, because I think they have to wait for Statham to finish up with some other stuff. More than anything.
Yeah, what else would he be doing right now?
I'm assuming Hobbs and Shaw 2, probably. Because that's being worked on.
Maybe.
Either that or he's the fastest.
He just put out Man of War, too.
Mm-hmm, Man of War.
Good old Statham.
You got to put the accent in it. Statham. Anyway, but so they're working on that. And in everything he's done, including this, his co-writer is his wife, Amy Jump. So she's also helped him write everything. So I wanted to throw that out there. I didn't want to leave her out, but everything they've done together, she's helped him do.
Yeah.
So they're a good tag team. Now, how to explain this movie.
I mean, simply enough, it's is it drugs? I don't remember.
It's guns.
So it's a gun deal that goes sideways, and everybody, weirdly enough, that's involved knows everybody else, and the deal goes sideways, and it turns into where everybody gets a gun and starts shooting at everybody, and it's mostly the whole movie. It sounds dumb, but it's mostly people shooting at each other and arguing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dumb premise, but it's actually it's where writing comes into play, and then the phenomenal cast, which you haven't really got into the cast so much. One of my favorite kind of, I don't call him an indie actor. He's done too many big things. One of my favorite quote unquote indie actors is in this, and then it is full of just other people some people who've gotten bigger. Well, one person, I guess, she's gotten bigger post this movie, and it's just a bunch of names that you can kind of bang through.
I'll shoot through a
somewhat rapidly, but you want to lead with my,
I'll save him for a little bit later because I've already spoiled one of them. I'll talk about him real quick.
Yeah.
We absolutely adore Michael Smiley.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. He
appears in every Edgar Wright movie.
Every
Probably.
Simon Pegg movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, Edgar Wright movie because he appears in the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy as well as Spaced, which is also Edgar Wright.
I wonder if he was in Baby Driver.
He may have been.
Anyway,
I don't know. But then he was in Come to Daddy, and he's in Kill List, and so he's a really good actor too.
Yeah,
and he was in a couple episodes of Black Mirror, at least one that I can remember. He was like the director coordinator behind this weird facade, but he's a really good actor. So I definitely look forward to seeing him play like some antagonistic stuff as in Kill List when we get around to it. And he was hilarious. And
he was a bad guy in Come to Daddy.
Yeah, but I think he's a little more like evil in Kill List.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. So Michael Smiley, wonderful actor. Can't wait to see him. Another guy who's in this movie who's actually on a previous movie, Cillian Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
He's in this movie. And we spoke about him. Peaky Blinders, Quiet Place 2, In Time, which is the movie I spoke about. And he plays Scarecrow in Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, Dark Knight trilogy, and a plethora of other things.
Yeah, there's been a lot of it before there. But I think his face got really out there with the Batmans.
And then I think the one you're really interested in, who I absolutely adore, is Charlton Copley.
Is it Copley or Copley?
I think it's Copley, Charlton Copley.
I absolutely love this guy.
He is phenomenal. He got his start in, what's his name? Neil Blomkamp's District 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then
lead role.
And then Neil Blomkamp's Elysium.
Which he was an insane bad guy in that one.
An insane assassin.
Yeah.
And then Neil Blomkamp's Chappie, where he played the titular Chappie.
Motion cap and voice
work for Chappie. Now, some other things, I think it was German/American film, and was called Hardcore Henry. Mm-hmm. And he was the
only movie that ever made me nauseous because that entire movie was filmed in first person.
Yeah.
Like I got nauseous in theaters because I get motion sick a little bit, but that movie is in first person. It's a really cool movie.
And he is hilarious.
He's
Jimmy.
He's incredible in that movie. He's the best part.
The movie
seeing
is fun.
him is almost more entertaining than the fact that movie's in first person. Like it's just like he's just. Man, I already said we gush, but I already love him.
And I think there was there was an A-Team movie remake with Liam Neeson and a few people.
This is before all that, I think, though.
Shortly after District 9 at least.
Mm-hmm.
And he got to play H.M. Murdoch, Howlin' Man Murdoch. He was their pilot. And for 2 seasons on PlayStation only, he got to be in the comic book, the live action adaptation of the comic book Powers, and he was Christian Powers. Mm-hmm. Which I bring that up because one of the other movie actors in this is a dude named Trevor Noah, who was Johnny Bubble, who would pop in Powers. The guy who they were both in the movie together. He was one of his henchmen, actually.
He would pop away body parts.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, we won't talk about that just yet, but yes. So Charlton Copley is a wonderful actor, and
he actually has a list of things, a couple of things like Open Grave and stuff like that, which we haven't. I think it's called Open Grave. We haven't seen it where he literally. All those the premise is he wakes up like with no memories in an open grave, buried in bodies, and digs his way out. Who knows what happens? I want to see that. I'm sure Sholto has a whole list of movies we haven't got a chance to see. Because he's a
he just does kind of whatever.
Yeah, and he could have some because he's South African. He can have other South Africans. Is that right?
It's
South Africans. He could have all kinds of stuff, and maybe other Neil Blomkamp stuff he's done that we just haven't got a chance to see. Or some things that who knows? But he's for me. He was I'm so happy. I smile every time I see him in something. And big old grin. I can't wait to see what he's going to do in this movie. And he never plays a normal person.
No, he's not normal in this neither.
No,
but. And now the final big reveal, and I'll have another.
There's two.
Who's the other one?
Armie Hammer.
Yeah. I was going to talk about him too, but I don't know too much about him really. I only know like two things he was in.
His terrible name. This is his name.
Yeah,
Armie Hammer.
Yeah, Armie Hammer. He is in the Lone Ranger, the Disney Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp. He's the Lone Ranger.
Yeah,
he does a good job, and I think he's in that Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Probably.
He's the co-star along Henry Cavill in Man from U.N.C.L.E., another Guy Ritchie film.
We need to watch.
Mm-hmm. And so I have nothing against him, but some of the other stuff he's played in, it's not my cup of tea. But okay. I didn't hate Lone Ranger, and I'm sure I'll love.
He's good in this.
Yeah, he's really good in this. And the final one is Brie Larson, who some of you may know from her role in United States of Terror. She plays Toni Collette's daughter, and because of her, I now know the term "dogs in a bathtub," and it is hilarious. And I go out of my way to show people that Urban Dictionary definition all the time.
Yeah, look that up.
Yeah, dogs in a bathtub. You'll get a kick out of it. She's also in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, another Edgar Wright alumnus. Alumnus.
God, I love that.
So she plays Envy.
Yeah,
Envy Adams or whatever her name is.
I remember. Yeah,
and she's also.
As soon as you said I pictured her face in the movie as soon as you said it.
And she's also, again, oddly enough, another Tom Hiddleston connection. She is in Skull Island with Tom Hiddleston and Samuel L. Jackson. Kong Skull Island.
She's in Skull Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's the only girl in Skull Island.
That's funny. I don't remember. I'm gonna say. Nicest way possible. Nothing personal. I'm really not a Brie Larson fan. I don't think she's that good of an actress. I don't know if I'm alone in this. I don't think she's charismatic. I don't think she's much to. I mean, I'll say much to look at, but I don't think there's nothing about her that just. I don't know. She's just not very interesting.
She'll hold a place in my heart for United States of Terror. Because Dog's in a Bathtub, and she's really funny, and she's good in as Envy for the what little time she has on screen in that.
Yeah,
I don't hate her.
Yeah, I don't think she's the.
And like I said, Captain Marvel, I'll get yelled at, was a good movie, but it wasn't as great as everyone made it out to be. It was a decent movie.
I think Captain Marvel was a big old pile of Marvel garbage. What I think it was.
Well, let's
just not technically her fault, but as the beginning of, not say the beginning, but a piece of a bunch of when Marvel movies started turning really, really crappy.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
this is a Marvel podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Brie Larson, the last one.
Yeah, she's the last one. Like you said,
she's good. I think. Does she have any funny lines in this? I know she's screaming and cussing at people and getting.
Everyone's got funny lines in this movie. It's ridiculous. So like, all I'm going to do is give you a quick, brief breakdown of like the opening scenario.
I mean. It's really just, it's two groups of people there for a gun deal.
But there's reasons why it goes south.
Well, you leave that to the movie. All you gotta know is that the whole movie's in this warehouse.
Yeah.
The gun deal goes sour. Basically, I think the gun deal goes sour because they all know each other.
Mm-hmm.
They start arguing, and if somebody shoots at somebody, they're like, "What the?" And they start shooting back and forth. They're like, "You shoot at me! Don't shoot at me! I'll kill you." They start shooting. It's this shooting. The movie is shooting and arguing in its best form.
The movie knows exactly what it is
mm-hmm.
and wastes no time getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Free Fire, and you spend maybe the first 5, maybe 10 minutes outside the warehouse. And then once you go into the warehouse and everything starts happening, you never step foot outside that warehouse again.
Yeah.
I think I think the whole movie was like $3.5 million, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that was mostly paying the people because they just stayed inside. It's not like they had to wait for time of day or anything. They just stayed inside the warehouse.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think there's much more you need to say beyond the cast and what the idea of the movie is. If you want a great, I would even call it. It's not even really an action movie. It's more of a comedy.
The term according to Wikipedia was a British black action comedy.
Yeah. I say it's only action because there's guns involved.
Yeah.
There's not big stunts. There's not big. It's what's going to get you is the dialogue.
And just the kind of the piling on of like the circumstances of everything, but they are in a giant warehouse filled with it's an abandoned warehouse filled with rusted out steel and cinder blocks and people sometimes blind firing.
Yeah.
So bullets tend to ricochet off stone and metal. So there's a bunch of ricocheting bullets and people sometimes accidentally friendly firing on their own people.
Oh yeah.
Or sometimes people shooting themselves by accident with a ricochet bullet.
Yeah.
And
it's not a spoiler to say that everybody gets shot.
every single person in this movie has multiple gun wounds.
Probably, yeah, multiple at least.
Like some of them lethal, some not. I'm not gonna say who, what, but everybody in this movie gets shot, and it's not even just a graze. I'm talking. Oh, I got bullet in my arm, bullet in my. They are shot.
Yeah. But man.
But one of the best things is because you said some of these people do know one another from past, because it's like an Irish gang, an intermediary who's trying to introduce the guns, then some like ex-hitmen who are trying to buy. It's just a bunch of people who accidentally know each other from the underworld, and they're like, "Hey, Billy, what are you doing, man? We had drinks last week. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on." And they're having these yelling matches, but it's hilarious because you'll see people shooting and then everything will quiet down because everyone's got to reload, and you hear a bunch of shells and everything falling out, and people start yelling at one another across from behind cover, and it is a truly fun movie that knows exactly what it is. Like I said earlier, it knows exactly what it is and wastes no time getting to it. The entire runtime, credits included, is 90 minutes. So the movie itself is probably like 183 or even 180.
I think it gets
like an hour.
I think it gets all.
Not 180,
I don't think it
80 minutes.
I don't think it wears out its welcome at all. I think, like you said, it gets right to the point, gets through it, and gets you out before you get tired of what's going on.
And all the actors are hilarious. Charlton Copley is...
He's my star of the movie.
He's definitely the weirdest character, hands down.
I think he has... Do they have a massive mustache in this movie?
Well, because the movie takes place in 1978, so everyone's got these gaudy clothes. But there's a real funny thing because like it's Irish and British. Like I said, it's a British movie.
Yeah, he's actually putting on a different accent, I think. 'Cause he's South African. He has a very strong South African accent.
Well, they make a joke because I think it plays to his character, because his character is just crazy, coked up, just whoa, like out of their guy. But I think like every other scene he changes his accent, and they make a point of going, "Where is this guy from?" and one of the guys like, "He's my boss, and I got no idea." But like he changes his, because they make a point of like being self-aware. It's like, where is he from? Where are you from? He's like, "I'm from all around, man." And he literally jumps from South African to British to American back to South. They have no idea where it's from.
Yeah, it's incredible.
He's a wonderful actor. I'll gush over Sholto all day long.
Yeah.
The movie is hilarious.
Yeah.
Please, if you get a chance, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. We saw it on on Hulu. I own it. I bought a steelbook of it. Yeah.
You own it. I can look real fast. Have we ever mentioned the app on the podcast?
I think we've done it once or twice.
We will go ahead and plug it. We won't get paid for it or anything, obviously, because who cares? But there's a really cool app you can get called Just Watch, and you just look up movies on it, and it tells you which streaming services they're currently playing on. And Free Fire is currently on Netflix.
Oh, it's on. Oh, fan. Yeah,
so
please.
This app, how long did it take me that whole sentence to figure out where the Free Fire was playing?
3 seconds.
But you can get an account and tell the app what services you have, and it'll tell you where to do it. It also tells you where you can rent it from other places too. But anyway, Super fun movie. Currently on Netflix as of the release of this podcast, or just go buy it. It's definitely worth owning. What we say for this podcast, I think we forgot a couple of times, but
Don't watch trailers.
yeah. You don't even have to watch the trailer for this. What the trailer for this would do would just show you a bunch of folks shooting and yelling at each other, which we already told you is what the movie is. The experience of the movie is the dialogue itself and everything else that's going on. It's not about like trailer. Cause the trailer will be like, I didn't watch the trailer. I don't even know. The trailer will be like, it'd be like bang, 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 and somebody will say something funny out of context. You'll be like, oh, that was funny. Skip the trailer. Don't watch anything out of context. Don't stop watching trailers, people. It ain't hard. Just stop watching them.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. You got anything else for the movie?
I figure I'll finish it with the tagline.
Oh, you got a tagline?
Yeah.
I'll let you have the last word. You can wrap up. Again, I'll say find us on all our internet things. We're all over the internet. All the links to everything I mentioned way too long on the front end. All the links will be in the show notes as long as I do my job correctly and put them all in there. Find us. Write to us. Anything. I think we have. If ever anybody would ever write in their thoughts on a game, we love for somebody to play one of these off games and have a cool experience with a game that we've talked, like a weird off the wall game we've talked about. Close to Sun's not really weird, but it's unknown. If you have an experience with one of these games that we've talked about, and write into it. If it's something, I'll read it on the podcast. Yeah. I don't care if it's a neat little story. I'll read it on the end somewhere around here or something like that. So if you got any cool stories or about a band, a game, a movie, anything Blake talk about, anything cool like that, we're totally open to it. We have listeners. We know you are listening. Don't be scared to write in with your thoughts and things like that. Write in with thoughts about us. Say Blake talks too loud or something. I don't know. Or I talk too low.
Or you like your story sucked because it was written in the second person perspective, and I found it confusing.
Yeah. Write a live review. Write a review to his story in our email, and I'll read it on the podcast. I won't even tell Blake what it says. I'll read it to him. I'll read it to him live.
Yeah, that'd be a fun surprise.
Yeah, tell him.
Devastate me. What's the old saying? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but
words will hurt forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got. Internet stuff. We're always on there. Come watch us play games. Come hang out. Take part in this stuff. Get into some of these cool games. There's cool games out there that I guess they aren't. We always harp on Call of Duty and everything. All these mainstream AAA's. There's other. We play that stuff, but there's also other stuff out there. Play other things. Watch these off the wall movies we pick out. Listen to these bands. That's all I got. We try to give everybody cool, interesting things. That's the whole idea of this podcast. So that's all I've got. I will catch you guys on the next episode, which I think we've decided what to do, but we're not going to tell you now.
And without any further ado, free fire, all guns, no control. And I want to wish everybody a good evening and good night.